Welcome back to a long-awaited Jen hasn't streamed in forever Teach Gen Tech
Same.
episode about Python. And hello, Laura.
Hello, Jen.
I'm excited for Python. We haven't done this in,
Yes.
oh gosh, I think it's been almost a month. It's almost been
Mm-hmm.
a month, which is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Uh, for those who don't know, and this is a big reason why it's been so long, is I started a new job. Yay!
Yay!
I work at a database infrastructure company called Ivan. And a few days after I started, we had to fly to Finland for our DevRel offsite. And in the process of that, I got COVID and pneumonia and was a really hot mess and finally better. And I was like, oh, I totally got to stop streaming. For some reason, that's what I thought. And they're like, no, Jen, like, we want you to stream. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like,
Yay!
oh, okay. So the biggest news on all of that is we will continue streaming. It's just going to be a different time. It's going to be a little later in the day because Ivan is based in Finland and I need more time in the morning to work with the humans at the company.
Mm-hmm.
So, voila. What updates do you have for us, Laura? Anything you want to share?
Um, I am learning. I'm going to start using NeoVim as my primary editor for a while. And so I am learning all kinds of things. I've already been using Vim key bindings for a while and using Vim in my terminal for some kinds of stuff like editing my, dot um, my Z shell files, like any dot files or whatever. But
Hmm.
yeah, I tried to do some things in VS Code and they just weren't working in VS Code, but they were working in my terminal, which meant that it's
Okay.
not something that's wrong with like the program, but it's something that's wrong in VS Code. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to
I take
just do
it.
Vim. And then I was like, if I'm going to do Vim, I need some plugins. And then that kind of sucked. And then it turned out that there's this fork of Vim called NeoVim that has a much better plugin ecosystem. It's like, all right, I guess I'll use
Okay.
that. And so now I'm down this like rabbit hole series. So
Okay.
it's getting interesting. Yeah. And I
Neovim.
am going to
Have-
have a okay. And so you know how like if you're going to starts you want to open up some files with VS Code, then in your terminal you can type like code space dot like code,
Mhm.
open everything in this directory up in code.
Mhm.
So you can do that with like Vim and you can do it with NeoVim. And the acronym NVim is what you use. So you would type like NVim, whatever.
Okay.
And so I am going to start, I think maybe a blog series, or maybe some recordings, and it's going to be called Becoming Invincible.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love
me
that.
too. So
I
I'm excited.
I you and Vim, you have fun with that. That's what I have to say about you have fun with that. I mean, eventually I feel like I'll probably ask you more questions about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I am that person, just so everyone knows, I am that person that is like, I got stuck in Vim somehow. I'm just going to close my terminal and restart because I don't know.
Haven't we all, honestly?
So, yeah. I feel like it's something that is definitely going to be something to go into in the long term. It would be good to know. Yet
Mm-hmm.
on Monday, because we will still have Misc Monday with the two of us. I have some things to show Laura and everyone about I'm going to be starting a new data infrastructure series
Ooh.
and having guests on about that. And next week is my first guest in that series, and is Lucia from Confluent, and we are talking about Kafka. Kafka?
Cool.
Kafka. I don't know.
I
Kafka, Kafka.
would be inclined to say Kafka, but I have absolutely no idea if that's correct.
Yeah, I've heard both. I feel like I've heard both. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could be
probably.
just making it up. I will ask her. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
so back to Python, which I'm slightly dreading because this week's chapter just none of it made sense.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a lot of terminology that I've used. I've used in JavaScript. Like I can visualize a lot of it, but I'm like, it's still not 100% clicking. So
Okay.
let's get into, I will post chapter 3 of Automate the Boring Stuff and share my screen because that would be helpful. All right. Oh, and because everyone, and this is something that's from another conversation, but I do want to share, I eventually will be using OBS. This has been a goal for many months. One of my new colleagues is going to help me go through the different scenes I need to create and kind of, I feel like I almost feel like I'm being a baby about it because I'm like, this is just taking so much time that I keep avoiding it. Like I understand it, but I'm like, I'm just not computing on on it. So I'm very excited for that. We're not going to stream it. It is going to be done behind the scenes, but I'm just excited to be able to tell you that we're going to have OBS at some point.
So OBS is like the Vim of streaming,
Ooh,
I think.
that is a good way of saying it. Um, I will grab just so that way people see it in our chats. That is OBS. And then
Mhm.
also, I'll be using a tool called Ping that is like StreamYard for OBS.
Mm.
Someday I'll probably explain it. For now, I just need to actually get it set up. That is something that, along all of this live learning, something that I've learned about live learning, sometimes I need to learn something offline,
Sure.
which I didn't expect. I was like, sometimes I just need no distractions
Mm-hmm.
to learn it.
Yep.
And yeah, well, functions is not one of them.
Okay.
So we are on chapter 3 of Automate the Boring Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And previously, if I go back, let's actually let me go back to the summary of the last one, just so that way everyone can scroll. So much scrolling to the summary. I probably could have done control find, and that would have probably made this a lot better. But you know what? We are just going to keep scrolling to the bottom, and I will think
So
about
in
this next time.
Vim, if you press capital G, it takes you to the bottom.
Oh.
I'm just going to be making Vim jokes all the time now.
I feel like you are, but I'm okay with it because it's like, oh, and for those who have been following Laura's and my ta- video streams, there we go. For a while on the last Misc Monday, we were talking about COVID and masks and stuff like that. And I feel like it is kind of funny. I I don't not funny, but like I wouldn't say ironic. It's not the definition of ironic, but it's interesting that I ended up getting COVID. But I think I got it from planes. And so one thing that I need to remember is to ask Laura to send me the COVID mask because I feel like personally in my like little progression of thinking about all of this that I will probably not wear masks in like the airports and conferences, but on the actual airplane, I am masking up. I'm not going to eat anything. I am literally just going to mask because it circulates air and people are really, really close to you.
Are you interested in hearing some thoughts about that?
Of course not.
Okay. So, when the plane is actually flying, that's the safest part of your journey because they have the filtration going. And so,
Mhm.
like the aerosols don't, you can sort of think of it like the aerosols are teensy tiny little bubbles, right? And they can't like just hang around in front of your face for you to breathe them in with the filtration going, especially like if you have like the air AC, like it's blowing, whatever. So like, because there's so much air moving and because the filtration system is filtering the air, that's the safest part. The least safe part is the part where you get on the plane and the filtration system isn't running yet. So people have done it with like CO2 monitors. And so the time between like when you get on the plane and when you've been in the air for a while, that's the least safe time.
Cool. I plan on wearing it during that time. Like basically,
sure.
like I'm gonna go like hang out, and then when they're like, "Hey, come board," I'm gonna be like, "Mask." Is what the plan was. I say that because I am asthmatic, and hanging out, waiting for COVID to go away in another country without all of my asthma gear is one of the worst experiences I've ever had.
I'm so
It
sorry.
also probably went to pneumonia, and what caused it to go to pneumonia. And advice for everybody, please go like research a country and what you do for medication and doctor visits and things like that in case anything happens. I say that because I should have. So, it's all a lesson learned and progress, but it is also something that I have found very kind of my new company because I've seen it where people get really mad, like if you get sick and they make you work anyway. And this company was like, bro, just chill out, like get better, take care of you.
It's the way to be.
And I thought it was really cool. And in case anybody ever questions it, I do not sound like the people that actually talk to me. I paraphrase horribly in a really fun way. So please know that my company did not actually say bro. I would giggle if any of the Finnish humans actually said that to me because they are very proper, at least the ones I've met so far. But anyway, I know, I'm rambling. It's hard not to because we haven't had a Misc Monday and for so long. Okay. Back to Python. Focus on the Python. Yes. So this is the summary of the last chapter, which we did with Jay Miller. And the summary is, by using expressions that evaluate true or false, also called conditions, you can write programs that make decisions on what code to execute and what code to skip. You can also execute code over and over again in a loop while certain condition evaluates to true. The break and continue statements are useful if you need to exit a loop or jump back to the loop start. These flow control statements will let you write more intelligent programs. You can also use another type of flow control by writing your own functions, which will be the topic of the next chapter. And as a reminder for everyone, because I feel like I have to call this out, but I'm also very self-conscious, I am horribly dyslexic. So trying to read out loud is really hard for me. And I appreciate that there's never been shame or meanness from Laura, and I appreciate that. So thank you. And all right, so that is a summary for last stream with Jay, which was super fun. He had us writing a lot of, create a project about eyeglasses and being a glasses store. And it was an extra long stream that was so fun. So now we are on to chapter 3, which is functions. And this is not my favorite. which happens a lot, I feel like, when I end up talking to Laura of this isn't my favorite. And then I like it once I understand it.
It's a total thing, right? I mean, not like a me specific thing, but like it's a human thing to feel like animosity a bit towards stuff that you've like tried to understand and you don't understand. If there's a little bit of like of a, well, fuck you very much then feeling, you know, like the brain is doing that. But then if you can get past that and be like, no, it's okay. We are not under threat by the fact that we don't know this thing, because it's your amygdala. It's like your stress response, because we've got these brains that evolved a very long time before functions in Python, right? And so if we feel like we don't know what's going on, then maybe it's like our brain is like, if we don't know what's going on, then maybe there's actually a lion behind that tree and I'm about to die.
And note for this, for everyone that might be joining for the first time or need a quick reminder, Laura used to be a math professor.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really amazing in the fact that it helps with that she has a teaching background, but then also something that I've learned while working with Laura is my own way of learning things and how to work through them. Because y'all, I passed high school, which is around the age of 18. So all of my grades going up, a GPA, like a good GPA, grade point average is a 4.0, or sometimes you can get higher with extra credit. So I had a GPA when I graduated of a 1.6. I passed with D's and I still got a degree. I got my high school diploma. I say all of that because a lot of it, I didn't know how to study or how to work through a lot of it. And also, I didn't realize I was ADHD or dyslexic or any of that, and had a lot of trauma going on at home, which all goes into learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, backstory on that, but thank you. Yes, because I would love to just close this book and forget about learning Python, but I'm really excited to learn Python. And Laura and Jay and so many others that we adore keep me going so I don't quit learning this, and y'all don't quit learning this. So, functions.
Yeah. Okay. So, have you, because I know you have more experience in JavaScript, have you worked with functions in JavaScript?
Yes, in the fact, and this is good knowledge for everybody too, of I have worked with a ton of JavaScript, TypeScript, a lot of CSS, like Tailwind. I've worked with a lot of this. Figuring out how to get it to do what I want it to do doesn't mean I know what it was called.
Sure.
So, like, I've worked with functions. I know they exist.
Yeah.
But if I were to look at some code, I wouldn't be able to tell you that is a function.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So how do you, because this is your learning journey, how do you want to start today?
I would say, first off, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, yes, in the last chapter, we totally went through print, input, and len, and that was helpful. Like, we went through all of that. And then it says, a function is a mini program within a function. And I'm like, program, yes. A function is a mini program within a program. And I'm like, okay.
So don't worry about that. We'll revisit that.
Okay.
Do we have an example here of a function? If we scroll down,
this one's a function.
It's too small. I feel like it's too small to understand what's going on for understanding like what a function is potentially.
Okay. I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
Then we go into def statements.
Yeah.
And
let's start
parameter.
Here. Okay. So let's type this in. Let's do a Jupyter notebook.
Okay. What is, and we were talking about this a little beforehand, so I would love to hear your definitions of, I'm in VS Code, I'm going to new file, and then we have a Python file and Jupyter notebook. Jay told us a little bit about his views on this too, but I'm curious what your views are and why we might use one over the other.
So, in production, I think that this is maybe slightly changing, but that's a very, very new thing. So we're just going to say usually in production, you would just be running a Python file. A notebook is like, let's get one open. Oh,
Okay.
we could even do, well, I guess we could do both so that you could see the difference, because I can describe the difference, but that's not as good as seeing the difference.
All right, I got
so
a
we could
notebook
have one of
open.
each.
And I will do a new file, and we're going to do a new Python file.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to
And
close this just so we have more area.
yeah,
I can switch back and forth up here.
in fact, you can show both of them.
Oh, yes. Is it that one? No.
If you split right and then close the first one, the one on the left. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so grab that code, and I think it's great that you can't actually just copy and paste it, because then you can
I could copy and paste it. Okay.
Because then we can talk about it.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, I got to move my book because I'm still figuring out my whole desk setup when I actually need to type. Hello. Name. Oh, it already indented. Print. Nope, there's space there. Space. Name. And then. All right, it has been typed.
Okay, so all right, let's work just in the notebook at the moment, and like once you're feeling good about this block, then we'll see the difference between, actually we need to have more than one block to see the difference between a notebook and just a Python file.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So great. So we will revisit, we'll come back to the Python file itself in a bit. Okay, so that def, what do you think that stands for?
It's defining hello?
Yep. We are defining a function, and that function is called hello. And that in that name that's in parentheses, what are your feels about your sense of what that is?
A variable.
Sure. Yeah. And when we pass a variable to a function, it's called a parameter or an argument.
I was going to say an argument. I don't remember parameter, but I remember argument.
Sure.
Cool. Yep. Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
And so we're saying, hey, we're going to make this function. It's going to be called hello. And what we're going to give to hello as like an input is going to be this thing called name.
Okay.
And then on the next line down, the function is going to print hello, and then it's going to append the name at the end of that string. So it's going to print hello and then the name as well, right? Yeah, so let's run this.
I'm doing, so for those who may be like, Jen, what are you doing? I am, so up here, if I go just like really briefly trying to put 2 and 2 together, basically the first function is saying it did like define hello and then print these 3. So it gave it 3 different options. And so it printed it 3 times because it had 3 hellos. And what I'm trying to see is just like, if I do this, is it gonna do, instead of just hello Bob and Alice, is it gonna do hello uh, Bob, Alice, Laura, and Jay?
Okay. Yeah.
So, and
Hey, CBid
what up,
2?
Chrissy?
Oh,
Chrissy.
hello.
At least I hope so, because if there's somebody else with this name, I'm gonna be really confused. Because she's the one who posts about badass women in tech, and she is one as well. And she
Oh,
does a lot of
nice.
really good content. Is.
Ooh.
At least Chrissy does. If CBid 2, if you're not Chrissy, then I'm really sorry that I'm not putting two and two together. You can tell me I'm being mean. It's fine. But anyway, uh, so yeah.
Right. Okay. So, and then let's just run this.
Let me make this bigger. I just realized that I hate it when they're really small for me, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't always look small for streamers.
Right. Yeah, I always forget.
Uh, oh, I thought I already installed it. Okay, well, let's see if we can install this really quick. And yay, it is Chrissy.
Yay, hello.
Let's see. I'm going to, while this is installing, distract myself with some Twitter and go. I
I
know. Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead.
I posted on Mastodon and tagged you.
Oh, yay. Um, this is Chrissy's information
Hmm.
to see all the dope stuff she's doing.
Nice.
So I just wanted to put that really quick. Yay! And it printed them all.
Mm-hmm.
So out of curiosity, if I do this line again of the same thing, or maybe I'll put by, just so that way, by, no, I need comma, comma, plus name. Now what happens? Oh, that's kind of cool. I
Mm-hmm.
don't quite fully understand it, but that's cool.
Which part?
Um, the fact that it didn't like group all of the hellos and then all of the goodbyes.
Okay. So, how to think about this? So you called first, you called hello, and you gave it the string Alice, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, I take Alice, and what I do first is I print hello, Alice. And then the next thing that I do, the function hello,
Mm-hmm.
the next thing that I do is I print bye, Alice.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran
Okay.
through my whole function. And then I'm done. So now I can go to the next line down, which is hello, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do I do with Bob? I say hello, Bob, and then I say bye, Bob. Now I'm done with that line. Now I can go to the next one. I print hello, Laura, bye, Laura. So if you wanted it to group all the hellos and the byes, you would need to have two functions. You could have a
It
hello
does.
function and a bye function.
It does go through that later on a bit, but
Mhm.
something that I think might be something that other newbies might relate to is the fact. So, getting, I'm going to just say, this box functioning or working, I won't even say function yet, being able to do whatever that needs to do, I could do that. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this totally makes sense. I'll play around with it until enough to like get it to do what I get wanted to do. Yet, if somebody asked me if I knew what function was, no, because I didn't learn it with what it was, I could just make it work.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So can we VS Code has like code spaces, right? Because I was just thinking like it would be great if I could type in this thing right now.
Oh yeah, like I can live share with you.
Okay.
Hmm. I'm gonna go off screen for a second because oh, wrong one. This one. Because I don't need everybody to join us because that could be kind of awkward if there's a ton of us in the same area. So it is signing in right now. And then I will send you the link, Laura.
Alrighty.
Maybe. Maybe I will. We'll find out. Do, do, do. Oh, I didn't click the thing above it. That would help. Yay. And private chat.
Okay. I haven't actually done this before. So this
You
is
might have to install the extension, which is pretty cool. One of the DevRels on my team, Sebi, just made an extension for the product, VS Code extension, and I just thought that was so cool. I was like, these are like you can do so much with open source.
So let's see. I clicked the link and it asked me if I wanted to open in VS Code, and I said yes. But it just, oh, there it is.
Can you see the things and stuff?
Maybe it's thinking. Joining collaborative session, it says.
Oh, I can see you now.
Ooh.
Laura is on Twitter, but mostly Mastodon. Like, Laura, do you even reply on your Twitter?
I check it once in a while, but I mostly am not. I'm trying to see.
I got
Sorry.
your website. You concentrate on that. Your website has
Okay.
all your links, right?
It does. Yep.
All right. There we go. Good call out, Chrissy. I appreciate that.
I have to sign in.
Oh, I know.
Doo-doo.
I love how, and Chrissy, I feel like you need to come on the show sometime too. Chrissy has talked about like, she does. I feel like it's really good. I don't know if it's marketing is the right way of saying it, but like while she's like promoting other people, she mentions like what she's working on too. So people like if I repost something that she posted about me, people can see how to get in contact with her. I was like, dude, that's genius.
Nice.
I wish I thought of that back in the day.
Okay, so you can see me, can you? Did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, can you reshare your screen so I can see what you're seeing?
Yes. Give me a second. It's this one.
Not.
Because
I don't
can
see like under live workspace, live share workspace, I don't actually see any files. Like there's nothing there.
Well, it says you're not currently editing the documents, but you're in the participation. Weird.
Okay.
Can you click me to say follow?
I don't see anything like that.
Oh, no, I don't want to email you like that.
Live share workspace, yes. It's open. Oh, okay. I have to trust this workspace. Maybe that's going to give me what I need. Sure. Okay. Why is this not? Okay. Try one more time.
See, it will say that you joined.
Uh-huh. Hmm. I don't know. Because, yeah, I see nothing. Okay, well, we'll fix this out. Oh, I've been removed.
Yeah, I tried to kick you out just to see if you can
Okay.
rejoin, and
Yeah.
because it had you in multiple times, maybe that will be it. Yay! Chrissy
Okay,
followed you
I'm
on
joining.
The LinkedIn and stuff.
Oh, thank you. No. Okay, well, we should figure that out sometime.
We'll do it another
Okay.
time. That is fine. We
Yeah.
also, oh yay, and Hashnode.
Yay. What was I going to say? I have no idea now.
Well, okay.
Anyway,
So
so
I'm
what I
just
was
gonna
going
close
to
the live
do
here.
was say, like, I think that part of what's hard to understand maybe about, not that it's hard to understand about functions, but that um sometimes when we're teaching, we try to like break things down into like the smallest unit possible.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes like if you're seeing it out of context, it doesn't totally make sense like what it's doing. So like
Oh
when
yes, that
when
is a
it
great way to
said
say it.
a function is like a mini program within a program,
Uh-huh.
all that this program is right now is one function. And so it's hard to see like the mini programness because it's not existing in a bigger in a larger program,
That's really starting to make sense.
if that makes sense. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So let's put in another block into our Jupyter notebook. I'm only trying to click on things like that's a real thing. Okay.
And
And let's
then,
put it above the, I think you can
okay.
just drag it, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Drag. Go above. Go all the way up here. Yay.
Yay. So all the way to the top. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, oh, okay. I officially think that we'll be better off in the Python file for this because I think it'll make it a little bit clearer how the function fits within the larger program if they're not visually separate blocks.
All right.
Okay,
Then
so
I'm
let's
just
pop
gonna
over, just copy and paste that code.
copy. Paste. I'll just close this for now. No, I don't want you to close. Whatever. It's good.
Yeah, you can just make it all the way small or whatever. Okay, so, right. So now above line 1, let's get some more lines above line 1. Okay. So now let's print something like welcome to Teach Gen Tech. Okay, cool. And then you know what? Just for the sake of, well, no, never mind. Teach one thing at a time, learn one thing. Okay. So on line 3, let's print what's your name? Or no, let's make a new function. So let's type define def space and like get name. We can make this function be called get name. and then a colon after the closed parens. And then get another new line. And so in some languages, you have to put semicolons at the ends of all of your lines so that the computer can understand like where new lines happen and so on, and like how things relate to each other. And you have to like put braces inside of things and so on. So Python, you don't have to do the semicolons and you don't have to do the braces most of the time because it relies upon white space. So you do have to do the indentation.
Okay.
That matters. And it'll get mad if you have indentations that don't match, but we can get to that later.
Cool.
So in getName, let's put, we're going to use a function called input, which we have used before.
Yes.
And we're going to give it a, let's see, we are going to assign input to, let's just use name. So that would be using name as an argument to input. What we want instead is to put name equals input.
Oh, okay. Name equals input.
And input does need the parens on the end. Okay. So let's comment out the hello, everything from line 6 down. Let's just comment that out.
And in case anybody wants to know a really easy way of commenting out, at least on Mac, it is command this. I don't even know what this is. / to comment out many lines.
That's not a Mac thing. It's an IDE thing. So VS Code is what's doing that for you. But most IDEs, at least the IDEs that I've played with, have all done that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So let's run this program and see how we're doing so far.
Not gonna lie, on this one, I don't remember how to run it.
So go up to the top bar.
Okay.
Top. Yep. And there's one that says run.
Oh, yes. Okay. Start debugging.
Let's run
without debugging.
Yeah. And it wants a name for this. Okay. So it printed, welcome to TeachGen Tech, learning Python. Because that's what we have on our first line. And so far, that getName function doesn't have any output, right? It literally only has an input.
Right.
Yeah. So it hasn't done anything yet. So what we could do is print above line 4. We can get another line in front of line 4. Print, what's your name? That's much better.
Why? I don't get why you can't use proper grammar in.
Okay, so you can. Hang on.
Okay. I'm struggle busing just like getting. There we go.
Okay, so you can instead use, so at before hey and after the quotation mark, you have a single quote.
Yes.
Make those double quotes.
Oh. Okay.
And now you can put an apostrophe before the S Because what was
Yay.
happening before was you had a single quote in front of the hey, and then a single quote, because single quote and apostrophe are the same keystroke, right? And so it doesn't know the
Mm-hmm.
difference. So it was like, okay, you want to start this string with hey, and you want to end it with what? Because
Yay.
that's where you closed it. Make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
So
So single quotes do work for strings in Python, but if you're going to want to use apostrophes, you're going to have to use double quotes on the end, or like on the two ends. Okay, so what does this do?
it will give us a space to input our name.
Let's run it.
The lack of repo. Chrissy just said, don't get me started on the lack of that in repo docs.
Oh, for commenting out like?
Yeah,
Mm,
I bet. I'm guessing at least. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, we're gonna hit run. And we're gonna be in this one, and now we're gonna hit run. And it wants us to enter something, but it's not showing my print. Why are you not
let's see.
showing my print?
What did it say? Okay. Let's, comment out the name equals input line, and let's just run it without that and see what we have.
Comments out is like my favorite thing in the world. Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, you're in your terminal. Go to output instead. Okay, and so it can't find. Oh, this is an Xcode thing.
This
Okay.
is like the fun of streaming with me is like it doesn't matter what computer I'm on. I like to find this kind of stuff. It's a magic.
Okay.
It ran it, but it still didn't say hello, beautiful
Yeah.
human.
Okay. So, well, we haven't called it, so that is expected. This is why I wish I could be typing with you right now. Okay. So let's call the function. So below on like line 6, get some more new lines. And let's call our get name function.
So get name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking at what we have down here, and then we're going to do these.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know after that. Like, would I just put a comma after this one?
Did you say a comma?
Yeah.
What is pinging for you that you feel like you might need a comma?
Oh, just kidding. I thought I saw one down here. There's not.
Oh, okay.
And then would I just say get name is name?
So if you look at our get name function definition, do we say that we're going to need any arguments?
An argument means that it is, I feel like I know this backwards, but not this context. Hold on.
Where would we look to see if get name needs any arguments?
In here, because that's where we got get name, but so I always forget because like argument always makes me think of like the word argument, like in English, not in coding. But I got it earlier, which is the frustrating part. Would we need to say input?
So scroll back down to the hello function. Okay. Oh, scroll back up a little bit. All right. So looking at line 9.
Okay.
There is an argument on line 9. Where is it? Or what is it rather?
It has name with the
Name is
hello.
the argument. It's
Oh, so we
inside the
would need.
parentheses.
Okay.
There are no arguments inside the parentheses of get name on line 3. So that would be if we were going to like try to make a function. So stop scrolling for a sec. Look at line 3.
Mm-hmm.
Get name has no arguments. There we go. And we don't need the colon because we're not defining a function. We're using a function.
Okay.
Okay. So let's run this. See if we can get around the Xcode problem. Yay!
Name.
Okay, and now we can input.
Oh. Input down here, bro. Okay.
Great. Okay. So that function so far is printing, hey beautiful human, what's your name? And then it's getting the input, but it's not doing anything with it. So we want it to return the name. So the get name function has an input. Functions don't have to have an output, but we want this function to have an output because we want it to get us to get our name. What you doing?
I don't know.
Okay. That's fair.
Trying to figure out if this makes sense. I don't know if it does, but I was going to type it, see what happened. Oh, I don't need that one there. Try to like do something like this.
What we need to do is adjust. We need to add an output, like a notion of an output to our get name function. So we don't need what you just put in line 8. Let's take that out. Okay. And under line 5, we need another new line. Oh, you know what? Could you make the terminal a bit smaller so that we can see more of the... there we go. Okay, great. So put a new line after line 5. Okay. And type return space name. Okay. So let's under or rather before get name on line 8, put name equals get name. And then we'll talk about what's happening. So let's run this. Okay, so everything's still working. And then now uncomment the hello function, but not the Alice and Bob and stuff, just the hello function. Okay. Now let's run this. Why did it not? Oh, are you auto saving?
I keep saving it, but I don't know. I'm just going to do better spacing. Oh, save again. And then click run.
Oh, sorry. We didn't actually use it. So we defined the function hello, but then we didn't actually do anything with it. Sorry. Oh, no, we did.
So
it already has an output. Sorry. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, it says print.
Right. Okay. So what could be happening here? So we've got the name. And we're passing it to hello. Oh, you know what? Comment, never mind, don't comment out. Just under on line 9, just write a print name and let's just make sure that things are working the way that we think they are.
And really quick,
Mhm.
thank you. We have a comment from, I don't know how I would say your username, but curiousness is gold. Just trying out how things work or break is a great avenue for learning. Thank
Right.
you. It is embarrassing sometimes because I'm like, I really want to get this, and
Right.
it doesn't always click, which is frustrating. But thank
And I
you.
know that this isn't what fuck around and find out actually means, but you know, it has a flavor of fuck around and find out, right?
I feel like it's
And I
it's
like it.
like a more structured version. It's
It's
structured.
certainly a less physically painful version.
I don't know because there's times where I say that because learning live is like this way of it can be very embarrassing and still give me like the physical feeling of anxiety. It's
Sure.
like pushing through that. It can be
Hmm.
pretty easy because I get used to it, but on
Yeah.
other days, it's like I'm really still struggling. So, hey, we got it
All right. So
printed,
it
and
printed the name. That's good.
yay! And
Okay.
thank you for the follow,
Hmm.
Prav. Appreciate
Yep.
it. Yay!
Okay. And so we still need to call our hello function. So we defined our hello function, and underneath that, we're going to call it. So yeah, let's get a new line.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to unindent because this isn't going to be part of the hello function. This is going to use the hello function.
Okay.
So now let's print.
Okay.
Mhm.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Why is it not printing this? But it was doing this. Like I'm just curious if I uncomment this and just say hello name, what happens? Gonna do it
Yeah.
really quick and find out.
Uh-huh.
Name. Why is it because hold on. Oh, because there's an
Yeah.
extra. There
There
we
you
go.
go. Hmm.
Dave. And run. Run without debugging. Done. Oh hey!
It was
It did it.
because it was calling the function.
Yay!
So it was
Um,
actually using the function.
And for those who are newer to Teach Gen Tech, and yes, I am happy to see more developers on Twitch, go
Hmm.
follow Laura as well because she is also a developer on tech. I'm trying to remember how to do shout out. Starting next week, I am actually going to be doing uh, database or data infrastructure. So we're going to have some main things that I do 4 times a week. Mondays are with Laura with Misk Monday, which is just fun because we try to talk about other things, but somehow programming always gets into it, which is
Hmm.
it's fun. And then on Tuesdays is all going to be about database infrastructure or data infrastructure. I need to stop saying database infrastructure. And then Thursdays is with Distribute Aid, where we are working on open source and co-working. And Fridays is either Python like this or
Hmm.
TypeScript because I'm learning both. So it's a little bit of everything and different ways of learning from different people. And it's exciting. And I say that because I haven't streamed for a few weeks because I got a new job and it feels really weird to be streaming again. And but also lovely.
Hmm.
Laura, why do I always like try to mess up your name on here? Laura Lang. Done. See if this does the proper shout out. Yay! It did the shout out
Thank
on Twitch.
you.
Yes. Okay. So this is actually making sense in the fact,
Good.
and this is something that I think you are so right about that you called out earlier, like out of context, a function didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Hmm.
Like whatsoever. Where now I'm like, because for example, like I've been building my website and I'm working on building like a new website that has like jenjanah.com, and then it has links to like Ivan and then Teach Gen Tech and then shit you don't want to talk about.
Nice.
And like to do all of that, you still have functions in there. I just don't
Hmm.
think I ever understood that this is called a function.
Indeed.
So would I say that the function is from line 3 to line 9, or only line 3 to line 6 because that's what's included in the indent? Or
Yes, it's the latter. It's line 3 to line 6.
okay.
That's the function definition. And then on line 8, we use the function. And so in programming, we call that like calling a function.
You know what, y'all? I'm gonna take a little picture. We're gonna take a picture of this. We're gonna ask the Twitters if they know what this is called. Hmm. What do you think Twitter will say?
I wouldn't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, because it's out of context and I'm kind of excited about it.
Well, no, I mean like I would be looking at that and being like, yeah, what is it? Well, it's a block of code uh
So what would I
that
say?
contains a function.
What
And
is
it's a
this
prince.
block of what is this block of code called? What is this block of
If you were
code
going to do that,
represent?
if you're
Represent?
going to do that, it would be clearer if you just had line 3,
Oh,
maybe,
oh.
because it's like a function definition. I don't know. But actually, so I said something that was like sort of true. I said that line 3 to line 6 was a function.
Hmm.
It is, but how many functions appear in lines 3 through 6?
Based on what you just said, I feel like you gave it away and it's just one.
No, it's 3.
No? It's
Yeah,
three functions?
there are 3
Okay,
functions
so it's the
because
define, the print, and the name. Because returning is, I would think, not a function, it just shows it.
name isn't a function, but it's getting what's going to be returned by the function input, the function whose name is input.
Run that by me one more time.
Okay, so on line 5, where you have input and then parentheses, you are using the function called input,
Okay.
which is a built-in function in Python.
So
Just like print is a built-in function.
so return isn't a function.
No, it's an optional component of a function.
Uh, for Chrissy's question, and we're gonna see if I got this right. I'm pretty sure a let would be for JavaScript, where in Python we wouldn't need it.
Yeah, so
But that would be
not
for
just JavaScript. Lots of
okay.
lots of languages have that idea, but Python does not.
What do you normally code in, Chrissy? I'm curious now. I'm like, interesting. Uh, and also, yeah, I will post this, Chrissy, later today, probably when we're done streaming, and see how I'm gonna phrase this. Um, maybe I'll put the code block and be like, hey, what is this code block called, and how many of them are there in it? See if
You know
anybody
what?
gets
I
it.
think there is a let function in, I mean, a let, like you can do a let statement, sorry, not function, in Python, but you do not need to. Um,
I
so I'm not going to
feel
confuse you by getting into that right now.
I'm stepping off screen because for those who are newer, I still use books. I just have the computer read them out loud and then I take notes in the book. So I'm looking at the last chapter to see, because I feel like in our summary it mentioned let. But let me look. Ding, ding, ding. No, no. It mentioned Len in the first paragraph.
That
That's what
is
I'm
also
thinking
a
of.
built-in function. And len is short for length, and it
Oh,
returns the length of a string
okay. Mm,
or an
all right.
array, because they're kind of the same thing. Um, okay.
I feel like
So,
I'm not gonna
mhm.
lie on this one. I'm kind of like we also haven't streamed in forever. So my like stream is like my brain process. Because now that I'm getting a function, I would love to reread this chapter for next time to see if I can understand it a bit more.
Mhm.
Now that I'm finally conceptualizing what the function is, where it was out of context.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so, for anyone that's joining a little later, what I do, and Laura and I ended up doing, and now I do it for TypeScript too, is so we're using Al. I always say his last name wrong. How do you say his last name?
Swigert.
Swigert. Al
Mhm.
Swigert wrote Automate the Boring Stuff. And so I use a screen reader or a text to speech to be able to read all of the text. And then I have the physical book where I will, on some of them, this is a good one, put lots of random comments and notes. So I remember where to associate them with. And then every other week on Fridays, Laura comes on, or somebody else from the Python universe comes on to teach me and answer these questions so they start to click a bit more. Like today, functions out of context was it. It's so weird that it doesn't make sense, didn't make sense, but it totally makes sense. And that is what I'm feeling is like the um, biggest things that are I started reading at the same time. I really need to stop doing that, but at the same time, I'm like, that's what you do as a streamer. Uh, they said missed the beginning, but did we? Oh, James, you just rated us!
Hey,
Yay! Thank
nice. Hi,
you. Hi,
James.
everyone. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to go through everything.
Yeah.
So to answer your question of um, the beginning, but did we touch on why functions are helpful and important? Not necessarily, because the way we set it up is we use, and hello, everyone. We use Al Sweigart's book on automate the boring stuff and like why, like, and how they set things up. And it's not necessarily said with why a function is important, other than like a
Yeah.
function is a mini program within a program.
Mhm.
And this is why I do this a lot, is just to be able to go, okay, sometimes, and this is something that you'll get used to on my stream, is I will take really, really big concepts sometimes and also very, very like nitty gritty stuff like this. So I've used functions for myself in JavaScript, but I never could define what a function was. And that was a big reason why I kept wanting to like take a screenshot of this and see if I say, hey, what is this called and how many of them are there, if people would know what this is called.
Yeah. I just want to call out. So the new tacular says just coding and listening. And that's a thing that I do. Like I will hang out in someone's Twitch stream when I'm doing something that doesn't require a lot of my brain. And it's like co-working, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
So
call out. And also, I need to. Hey, we figured out how to do a shout out for Laura earlier. So let's shout out at James. and say thank you. And oh, how did this
You could
fit?
do me again for the sake of
I
the
was
people
just
who
gonna
are
do that.
here. Just to be self-promotional for a second here.
Yes.
I also have a stream, and Jen and I, for the people who just joined from James' channel, Jen and I also stream on Mondays. We have miscellaneous Mondays, joint stream, and then I do streams myself. I'm going to be starting one on setting up NeoVim, and it'll be called Becoming Invincible.
I think that's funny. That's pretty funny.
I felt really clever, gotta be honest.
And oh, I have to wait another minute before doing another shout out. So give us a second
Okay.
and then we will do it.
Sure.
And for those who are also just joining, I recently got I've been unemployed for a year. I can't believe that. And I'm finally not unemployed. So I will be starting a live stream about data infrastructure. And it starts next week. And we are starting Tuesday with Kafka. So I work at Ivan, which manages data infrastructure, and I need to learn about all of the products and what they do and what data infrastructure is. So it's going to be a very long process, but I'm going to bring all of you along with me. And thank you, P1. I appreciate it. It is learning live is something that I would suggest for everyone, but also not something for everyone because it is hard to be embarrassed in front of everyone when you're not getting something. Uh, and oh, I like Chrissy's idea. Uh, can you do a stream on how blogging can help job searchers? Yes.
Oh,
Do you have one? You have a lot of blogs.
I have a blog post. Yeah, I have a blog post on that. Let me see.
And let me see if I can also
Me.
give your shout out, Laura. And a lot of the streams for those who were just joining or who followed me today, thank you. These are what they are, is we just have fun. Even though these can be really hard topics, they are fun. They're on YouTube later on. They are something that we do refer back to them. And I will be working on doing transcripts and descriptions on all my old YouTube videos and past live streams. That is on the to-do list. Ooh, Noobtacular. Blogging is good for consolidating your knowledge too, even if it's just localhost. I like that.
Totally. I could do a stream. I'm trying to figure out like what I could say in the stream that would be different from what I've got in the blog post. But
I
yeah,
personally would watch a stream over a blog post. This is something Laura and I talk about a lot, is different learning styles. So
yep.
I am someone where this works really well because I get to ask questions and ask people where to connect dots that for most people probably make sense, but for me it doesn't. I have to listen to a book and read the book and take notes in the book. I also don't consume content very well from text, where I can listen to something in audio in on like double or triple time, where a lot of people don't even like listening to audiobooks or podcasts. So it's all about learning styles. So Laura, if you did one, I would be there. Just
Yep.
saying.
And it occurred to me, so I'm just linking to Learn with Jay. So Jason Langsdorf, Learn with Jason, has a blog post on how to be effective in developer relations. So Jen and I are both developer advocates. And the thesis of this blog post is that you should use reuse content and like use it in multiple ways. And so that would totally be like having a blog post of the content and a stream of the content would be reusing the content, which is
And
great.
I think most people kind of do it backwards, where they do like a video and then they transcribe it and make it a blog. But it's honestly just however is going to be best for you.
Yeah, yeah. So I've done it. I've only done it that way, the way that you just described. So like I've done that
Yeah.
for work. I'm actually going to do that in 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I could totally do that. I'm trying to think about like I could. Well, anyway, this is Python.
Well, I mean, it was
I will.
Python, and
I will. We
then
can. Let's chat about this on Monday.
yes, that is a big reason to join us on Mondays. Is the reason that we had to start a Monday stream was because this is what happens if we don't have a Monday stream of we just talk about really random shit. Um, and I just gave a shout out for Learn with Jason. He has been on the show as well, so definitely something
Hmm.
to check out. And I just want to call out B1 for saying that they are an audio visual learner and only written for reference. And I
Hmm.
think that is great because
Yep.
I like knowing that I'm not alone in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, and yay, yes, definitely join us for following sessions starting next week. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I have not streamed consistently basically all of February. I think I took February, kind of took the month off, and some of January. It's been really inconsistent with looking for work, coming from the holidays. And starting next week, we go all 4 days once again, and it's going to be fun. And
Nice.
if y'all want to know how to like know when we're going to live stream and things, we will be starting to live stream from now going forward at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern.
Hmm.
And then let me, how many hours ahead is I think that's six
It'll be on
six,
the like
18?
calendar, right? Like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our channels, it'll be
It'll be
there.
on there. It'll be
Yep.
on there. I just I needed to move it to later because I needed my mornings. So thank you
Hmm.
everyone. Come follow us. Follow
Yeah.
Laura is on Mastodon. I don't know what
I
side
am.
you're on when streaming, so I'm just gonna point this way.
Okay. I do have a few more things to say about what
Ooh,
we like if you share your screen
yay.
again, I wanna do a little bit more like a wrap up. And I also want to show the difference between the Jupyter notebook and the .py file. Okay, so first, let's just look at, so you tell me which parts of this .py file are functions, like function definitions.
Duh. I'm pretty sure print is a function.
It is a function, but it's not a function definition. I mean,
Hmm.
okay, let me ask a different question. Let me ask the other question. I'm going to ask these questions in the reverse order then. Which lines contain function calls? And a function call is where you use a function.
Uh
Let's start from the top.
Okay, so print must be a call because it's calling the print,
Yeah,
but
it's
this one
using an
is,
existing function.
which is print,
Yep,
where this is defining a function because it's
a
get
brand
name.
new function.
This one is using a function,
Yep.
defining a function.
Ah, no. On line 5, we are
It's
still using a function.
because input is already a function.
Yes.
And this is still
A
returning
return
because,
statement.
okay. So this is return.
It's a function call. It's using the getName function that we defined on line 3. Calling that function. Calling
Okay,
and using are like the same.
okay. What up, hacker hack hack? Welcome
Hey.
to the stream. Uh,
Hmm.
so only
What about
so
line 9?
wouldn't it just be calling?
Yes, it would.
Because so only line 3 and line 12 are creating,
Yeah, defining. Hmm.
defining.
Hmm.
The rest of them are calling.
That's right. In fact, is there a single line of this program? There is a single line of this this program that does not contain a function call or a function definition. Only one
Return
line.
name.
That's right.
Yes.
So in fact, when you were seeing files like this before, like programs like this before, it's full of functions. It's almost entirely functions.
And that's what
right?
I like. That it was so frustrating, y'all. Okay, so I think that's the most frustrating thing is since I've been self-learning and like mostly self-taught. I will say I don't know who said it on Twitter, but whoever did it said community taught, and I definitely am because I have guests on the show all the time. Of like I can do this stuff, but I never knew what they were called or
Yeah.
how to create them from scratch. And that's I think why my two most frustrating streams are Python and TypeScript because I'm like, I get them, but now I have to go to the fundamentals to understand what they're called, why they're called that, the way they technically work. And that's teaching me how to do it from scratch instead of just manipulating what's already there. And it is the most frustrating stuff ever. But I'm also very excited about it because my teachers are understanding that I'm not frustrated at them. I am just frustrated at learning because that's what happens.
It's more frustrating, but it's, I don't want to say more worthwhile because that's like a judgment statement, but it has like a really big return value.
It does, like when it finally clicks, because like as we're going through this, I'm like, oh, that is what it is. And I totally get what functions are. Where when we
Yes, you
started,
do.
I was like, I don't know what functions are. This doesn't make any sense, but I do know what they are. And this is, I think, a big thing with people in general is we don't always know what we know because it may not be the same way we're describing and
Yep.
communicating them.
Yep.
And yeah, we could, that's a missed Monday kind of conversation.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, your other
I just want to
question was kind of,
answer.
oh, yes.
Hacker Hack Hack asked what we're working on. So we are working through the functions chapter, which is chapter 3 of Automate the Boring Stuff
Yes.
by Al Swigert. You can find that at automatetheboringstuff.com. Al very generously provides the entire text for free online. But if you can, supporting Al's work by buying the book is an awesome thing to do.
By the book.
Yay.
You can take notes
And
in the book.
you can also buy it as an ebook if you are an ebook person like me.
Yes, that is true as well.
Okay, so looking at that file again. All right, so now we can see like this whole situation. We've got this whole program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the notebook. Okay.
I think this is just like thinking out loud because when Jay was on the show, we used Notebook. So I learned a little bit about it, and I did delete that on purpose because taking a look at using it from the .py file to the notebook is I personally wouldn't know where I break these into different gaps or different parts. But one thing I like about it is I can hit paste and I can hit play. And it's like the coolest stuff ever because it's easier to find than the Go run. So that's something I liked about it.
Yeah, that's not inherent to, it's not the case that the looking for the run button is something that you have to do usually. That's because something is wrong with your Xcode.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Okay. How do I stop you?
Well, it's waiting for you.
But I don't know where to type it. Where do I type it? Let me get rid of this one. We'll make this one bigger. It doesn't let me type it anywhere.
Just like click in there and then type and see if anything happens.
In here?
No, like
I can't click it.
I haven't done this with, I've only used notebooks for like data science stuff. And so they weren't like getting input like this, like
Yeah,
waiting for
no.
user input.
Well, I think this is
Um,
one of the reasons why maybe no. Oh, oh, that was kind of cool. Auto detect languages.
okay, so let's, mm, okay.
I don't even know how to stop it running. Oh, it took so long that it didn't do
It
anything
timed out.
and it timed out. All
Okay.
right, well, that works.
Okay. So, let's comment out that line that's going to wait for the input. Um, and let's just get or let's just change it. So let's just say name equals, what do you want the name to be?
Laura.
Okay. And we'll take out the parentheses because Laura is not a function, so we can't call upon it. Oh, but Laura is what
A
data
string.
type? Yes. Doesn't need parentheses.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's run
And
this again.
hello, Laura.
There we go.
Hi,
Okay.
Laura.
And then, well, how are you on time? Because I wanted to just show like the difference between, because right now we have an identical situation. I want to show the difference between the two.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's split this up into some different code blocks. And you said you weren't sure where to do the splitting.
Yeah.
It is totally up to you.
Oh,
So
because I think
notebooks,
just looking at it, I would normally do, I think, like one here, one for this one.
just do it.
Okay.
Do however you want.
Okay, well, that works. I will. Watch me.
Good.
Oh, wait, I forgot that. Ah, that is not what I wanted. There we go. Y'all, it would help if I can use a keyboard. There we go. So there's one, and then here's two. Three. I guess I can clean them up a little bit. Do-do-do. Oh, because like if we have them this way, we can run them as their own segment instead of having to run the
Yes,
entire file.
that's correct.
Because I can do run all
Mm-hmm.
and it'll
And
give
it'll
me the
work
same,
exactly the same way as it did when
or
they were all in one block.
I can use just this one and oh, that did run that one down. But if I want to run just that block, continue. Okay, I don't know.
What's your expectation for what's going to happen when you run just this block?
That it would print, hey, beautiful human.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is,
It'll time out eventually.
yeah, but it shouldn't be doing it. Like we took out, it's not waiting for input. So why is it, oh, no.
Interrupt. Nope. Nope. It didn't like interrupt. But oh. We'll just say cancel, I guess. I don't know.
That's really weird. Okay. What's the next button over if you hover over it? What does it say? Next line. What's the next one?
Execute above cells.
Mm-hmm.
And it just thinks it doesn't want to print. I will do this one and see if I can get
Oh,
it.
look, wait, no. Is that from before? That's from before. I was looking at under 13 and it was saying Hey, beautiful human, what's your name? But that's from before.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
doing it again and it's still not
yeah.
canceling it. What up, Nami? How's it
Hello.
going?
Um,
Yay!
okay.
We are
Well, anyway, so
having
you
fun
do, sorry?
testing. I was just saying we are having fun testing VS Code and
In the
Python.
notebooks.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
notebooks.
so my only experience with notebooks is running them like in the browser and not in VS Code. And so I actually don't know what it's getting tripped up on right now.
Oh,
Um,
apparently if you click this though, it will try to interrupt the kernel. I don't
yeah,
know. We can maybe ask, oh, this is how you can click it to run. Yes, restart. Restarting. Oh, it stopped it. Yay.
good. Oh, what? Hello is not defined. Yeah, okay.
So let's
So,
run
mhm,
all. And it worked.
uh-huh,
But the above didn't. Okay. Well, you
right.
know what?
Mm-hmm.
It's lesson learned. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like if we were just doing one function, it would make more sense to do it over here because it's a lot easier and condensed. But doing multiple functions, you're right, the dot py was a lot easier.
For seeing everything in context, I think it's better to have it all in, or not, at least it's better for my brain to have it
Yeah.
all in the same, because even just the visual distinction, like the visual little boxes, makes it
Mm-hmm.
feel like they're all like little separate bits that aren't talking to each other. And
Exactly.
yeah. Um, okay, but yeah, so that is the difference. So if you want to, it's a lot faster if you have like a gigantic program and
Mm-hmm.
you just want to write a function and test and make sure that it works and like just you just want to work on this little bit. You don't want to run the entire program that might take potentially hours if you're like processing a ton of data or something.
Yeah.
Um, so then it can be really handy to use a Jupyter notebook because you can just work on this little bit and then you can bring it over like when you know it's ready.
Yeah.
So they both have their uses.
Yes. And I think that's going to be a big thing to kind of like learn about and figure out, but it definitely is. I love how like it felt like I was ending early and yet we still had like so much to go over because it's amazing and wonderful and annoying of how much there something simple can be so complex at the same time. But I love it. And
Mhm.
thank you for being here to teach us.
Yes, thank you. This is so much fun.
And y'all join us on Monday. We will be
Mhm.
posting on all the socials on when we are going live for Misc Monday, where we literally just hang out. It's so fun.
We do.
And you can ask us random questions. We will Google random things, talk about stuff. You never know what we're going to talk about. And yeah,
Mhm.
well, thank you, everyone. And let's see if we can raid someone. Ooh, let's raid Prime again. Prime. Why do I still
Primeagen, I think.
Primeagen? That is
Uh-huh.
still one of like the most annoying ones, because I'm always like, I don't know what to call it.
You know, I've actually been using his one of his videos for setting up my NeoVim.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay, that's exciting. All right, we are going through right now. Okay, and broadcast. And broadcast.